Tonight we are throwing together a dinner. We've got baseball down at the ball field. I'm making up this dinner. I'm roughly following from memory. It's kind of a spicy chicken spaghetti that I've had before. I've got some rotisserie chicken that has been in the freezer. Sorry, my pot is heating up for the pasta. But I've got rotisserie chicken that's in the freezer. I pulled all the meat off. I didn't need it right away, so I stuck it in the freezer a couple weeks ago. I've got a block of cream cheese, some shredded cheese, sharp cheddar. I've got 1 can of Rotel, which is diced tomatoes and green chilies. And then I have 2 cans of cream of chicken. This is the Pacific Foods brand, and it is organic. It's a little better than the red and white label can that is kind of popular. And I've got a pound of spaghetti. So I don't know what all's gonna end up in the pot. I'm gonna start with the pasta. Chicken for sure, and I don't know about the cans. Like I might use all 3. I might just use, Rotel and 1 cream of chicken. I'm just not sure. I was looking through my seasonings because I feel like I do need to add some seasoning, and I think I'm going to use this kicked up chicken. It is a grill seasoning, so it'll be pretty good. I think it's a little bit spicy, so I'm not going to add too much, and I will add a little salt and pepper as well. I am really loving Chris Stapleton these days. Hi friend, welcome back to the channel. My name is Beth. If you're new here, I'm married to Brandon. We have 3 kids and we have 2 dogs. We have Jocko, an Italian Greyhound, and Poe, he's a Chihuahua. In today's video, I'm in the kitchen cooking up what's for dinner. It's the age-old question. I've got 3 dinners, 1 side, 1 dessert, and a spice blend that I tried out, and it was a success. I'm glad to have you here today. If you wouldn't mind, stop for a moment and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you be a part of my YouTube family. All right, let's get back to this creamy chicken spaghetti. I did reserve a little bit of the pasta water, and I'm just gonna add I'm gonna ladle a little bit in. I might not need any more than that, but I'm just not sure. To the cream cheese and noodles, I'm going to add some of this kicked up chicken blend. I picked this up from Aldi. I'm not sure if I said that earlier. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Next, I'm going to add in 1 can of Rotel and 1 can of cream of chicken. I'm going to add 1 more ladle of water. I've seen where you can put this also into a casserole dish, but I just don't think I don't have time to do that today. So I'm just going to do it on the stove top. So I've got it back over on this hot burner. Gonna let it stay warm over here. All right, let's add some of this cheddar cheese. That's maybe 2 cups. 2 cups of cheddar. Burner set to low. And I'm gonna add all this chicken. Like I said, this is, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna add all the chicken. It's all from 1 rotisserie chicken. Add a stir. And this chicken is still a little bit cold. It's actually still a little bit frozen, so it's got to warm all the way through. I'm just going to go ahead and add all this water. You know what? I think it actually does need the other can of cream of chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And maybe 1 more cup of cheese. All right, here's what it's looking like so far. I need this pot to get all the way heated through, get all that cheese nice and melty. It smells good, and I think it's gonna come together really nicely. So I'm very hopeful because this is the plan for dinner. I just gave it a little taste test. I think it needs just a touch of cayenne pepper, not a whole lot. This is not my favorite type of spice. that I do think this would be nice in here. So just a little touch. Also, I'm gonna add some ground turmeric, mainly for the color. It's looking nice and melty. It's smelling really good. Let's dish it up. So hello, let's have a little bon appetit moment together, shall we?
Bon appetit.
All right, you're probably gonna hear some real
Oh, no.
live reviews.
It's disgusting.
Oh, Rena says it's not worth eating. She wants to take it all for the team.
Yeah, I will take the glory.
Don't make that noise.
I mean, the terribleness of this.
But the terribleness, you'll have it all. All right, let's see.
It tastes kind of like chicken pot pie
Chicken pot pie.
Noodles.
on the first part.
Interesting. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Trying to wait for those seasonings to kind of like kick in a little bit. It's not very spicy, so I would not call this spicy chicken spaghetti. What would we call it? Just chicken spaghetti?
That's all right.
Sweet spaghetti.
Sweet spaghetti?
Sweet spicy spaghetti.
It's got a little bit of spice, a little tiny bit, but not a whole lot. It's good. I actually think it could have cooked a little bit longer and gotten a little bit more heated through. Mine is just, it's warm, but it's not like hot, hot. But we just don't have time because we got to get to the ball field. Anyway, let's get another bite.
Yeah, it kind of kicks in on the like 2 or 3 bites, the first ones.
Oh, the spice?
Or like the seasonings in general.
So here's the deal. We haven't had time to go to the grocery store. So I decided to just shop out of the pantry today. And I think I did pretty good. I mean, obviously the chicken came out of the freezer. But
We should use ugly chicken for those.
I could have used ugly canned chicken. But this is rotisserie chicken, which is also good too. All right, we're coming back in for some final thoughts. Serena, what do you think about the creamy chicken spaghetti?
I think it's very, very creamy. The spices are good. It's not too spicy, but it's not like not spicy.
It's got a good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little heat, but not like, bah.
Yeah, it's not like you're breathing fire.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would probably give it like a 9 or 8 out of 10.
Okay. It's a really, really good pantry recipe. It's a little different. It's got good protein, lots of carbs, and creamy goodness. Tonight for dinner, I'm making sloppy joes. We recently had sloppy joes with some friends we were on vacation with, and it's not something that I typically make because usually you will serve that on bread, like a sandwich bun, and Robbie doesn't like bread. So I hadn't really thought about how to make that work for our family, but while we were with our friends, he simply just had the meat and then all the sides together. He just left off the bread and he loved it. So I'm gonna try my hand at making sloppy joes. As always, I will link the recipe that I'm following down below. I may or may not follow it to a T. Sometimes I like to cook intuitively, but it'll be there nonetheless. So anyway, let me go gather the ingredients. I'll be right back and we'll get started. This recipe calls for olive oil, onion, garlic, ground beef, ketchup, brown sugar, paprika, chili powder, Worcestershire sauce, salt, and pepper. On the side, I'm going to roast up some sweet potatoes as well as some green beans, keeping it real simple. It's gonna be delicious, and just so you know, I am doubling the recipe because that's how I like to do. We love to have leftovers. Also, here is the recipe that I'm following. If you would like to pause the video and take a little screenshot, you can do that. And I will also link it from Pinterest below, like I said before. So just notice there are no instructions. You just have the measurements. I'm going to combine all these ingredients, minus the buns, of course, into a Dutch oven. I've got my pot heating up to medium high. I'm gonna go ahead and add the oil. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna eyeball that. So I'm gonna go ahead, add the beef. This is an 80-20. I don't use a ton of kitchen gadgets, but one that I can get behind for sure is this food chopper. It makes chopping vegetables so easy. and I love to use it, especially on days when I'm making homemade salsa or some other kind of canning project. It just makes the work so much easier. I love it, and I will link it down below. Now, I do use some affiliate links here on my channel, and all that means is that if you shop using the links that I provide, I might receive a small portion of those sales at no extra cost to you. No pressure, but if you're in the market for something that I'm talking about, I would appreciate it if you'd use my links. So the ground beef is still cooking. It's, you know, almost halfway done. I'm going to go ahead and add the onions, and I'm going to stir those in so that they can cook along with the ground beef. The ground beef is mostly cooked. It still has a little ways to go, and there's a lot of fat that has rendered here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel and just soak up some of this to get it out of the pot. A little bit's okay, but I feel like this is a little bit much. That actually pulled off most of the oil. There's obviously still a little bit of fat in the bottom, and that's okay. It is flavor, but I just don't like that much. I feel like when there's a lot of extra oil or fat, I just don't like the texture of that. I've got these sweet potatoes ready to go in the oven. I like to bake them at 450, and I like to start with 45 minutes. I usually go probably an hour at least, but I'm gonna start at 45 minutes. We'll check them then. All right, I've got the temperature set to low. I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic. The recipe calls for 3 cloves. I'm just gonna use the rest of what I had on that one bulb. I love garlic, and like I said, I'm also doubling the recipe. I love this garlic press. It is so, so good. I've had it for years and years, and it never ever fails. Need some ketchup. Next, we're gonna add some brown sugar. And I'm not going to actually double this. I'm gonna do a little less than double because I don't like to add a whole lot of brown sugar. So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. Let me make sure. Yes, it calls for 2 tablespoons. I think I'm gonna do 3, so not quite fully double. I feel like ketchup has sugar in it already, and the onions I'm using are sweet, so I don't know. We don't like things super sweet. It's just what we prefer. Next, we need chili powder. Y'all, this smells so good already. Paprika. We also need Worcestershire sauce. And this just says salt and pepper. It does not give a measurement, so I'm just gonna shake on what looks right. I've just got a coarse ground black pepper. And today I'm using the pink Himalayan salt. Here's what we've got. Let's give it a stir. This smells so good. I feel like I should have quadrupled it. For the green beans, I keep it real simple. You need a bowl, green beans, and then I'm going to use some olive oil. I also like to use avocado oil. It's just whichever one I have. And I just have olive oil more readily available right now. And then I try to be generous with salt, pepper, garlic. If you want to see how I made this, watch to the end and I'll show you how I made this homemade blend of salt, pepper, and garlic. This is not, we finished this up and we just held on to the empty container so I could make my own. So let's see how it goes. And then I get in there with my hands and just give it a nice mix. Now for these, I like to roast them for about 25 to 30 minutes. And I'll probably put them in at 450, which is a little high maybe, but I'm just gonna keep an eye on them and it's gonna be totally fine. My timer just went off. Let's see. Ooh, it's hot in there. The green beans look good. The potatoes look like they might be good. I'm gonna cut into one of these potatoes and just see how, oh my gosh, yes, they are. You can slice right through them like butter. Just so you can see too, I've got my knife I used to cut my onions with earlier, and this just goes right through. These are so soft, perfectly baked. So they were at 450 for about, it was about 1 hour total on those. The green beans, got a little bit of brown on there, not too much char. This also looks and smells amazing. I did a little taste test earlier and added a little bit more salt. I decided to make my sloppy joe into a sweet potato sloppy joe. And it looks really, really good. These green beans are looking on time. Let's give it a little bite. Mm-hmm. That's very good. I know I didn't put as much brown sugar as the recipe called for. I'm probably gonna put a little bit less. I do feel like it's pretty sweet. It's not too sweet, it's just a little sweeter than the things I normally make. Let's try it with this sweet potato. Might be really too sweet. Whoa, that's really hot. All right, let's see. It's good. It's very good. I feel like it might be better on bread. This is a great lower carb option. Flavors are good. Let me try a green bean with that homemade Kinder's, the blend, the homemade blend. That is very, very tasty. Oh, that is good. I'm sorry, Kinders. Those are real good. Hey, y'all. It is dinner time. I've got it going on the stove. Half of it's already been done. I've cooked in the crock pot today. Let me show you what I got. This is going to be rice, and I added, we're using basmati rice. I added some turmeric as well as some chicken bouillon. It's just coming back up to a simmer. So I'm gonna pop the lid on, set a timer for 17 minutes. I'm gonna turn it down to just barely, I have to put mine all the way on low or it will burn up. Over here, it's already set to warm. The timer went off just a little bit ago, but I have stew meat. The liquid in here is 1 stick of butter as well as the juice from the meat. I added my homemade version of the blend right here. And I also added a little sprinkle of this Italian herb seasoning. It's from Sam's Club. It smells amazing and I cannot wait to eat. I'm starving. So we're just having rice and stew meat. Oh, also in the meat, I did dice up 1 Vidalia onion. The timer just went off and this rice looks so good. I've made it like this one time before and my kids said they even liked it better than yellow saffron rice. So we're gonna see what it tastes like today, but it looks real good. There is almost nothing that I love more than a home-cooked, slow cooker, delicious, savory dish. This rice was awesome. The meat was so tender, flavorful, perfect. Yum. Next, let's put together this delicious side appetizer, or it's a nice pairing to go with like a Taco Tuesday kind of a moment. Black bean and corn salsa. There's really no official recipe that I'm following. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball everything, but I've got 2 bags of frozen corn, 1 jar of paste mild salsa. I also have 2 cans of black beans that I'm going to rinse really well. I'm gonna add in some lime juice, and I'm gonna have cilantro on the side because I know not everybody likes it. All right, I just rinsed them and drained them, and got them ready to go. This corn is still frozen, and I like to do that because it gets everything nice and chilled. It keeps everything nice and cold. And I am making this ahead of time. We're not gonna eat it for a little while yet, but I'm making it ahead of time so all the flavors have a minute to really come together. Oh, tear here. Nice. Let's go ahead and add the beans. Salsa. I think I'm gonna just use the whole jar, maybe half. Let's see. Nope. So I added about half. I'm gonna give it a stir and see what it looks like. So here's what we have so far. Yep, I'm gonna add this entire jar. So this is the 8-ounce jar of salsa. I decided to add a little bit of the home blend that I made. Just gonna shake it on there until it looks right. I'm also gonna add a little dash of Frank's Red. This has been going on all the food I've been eating lately. It's just been so good. It's tasted good on everything. So just a little dash of that. Next, let's go in with some lime. You give them a roll, get the juices loosened up a little bit in there. I think I'm gonna leave it with the juice of the 1 lime. This smells so good. Here's an overview, and I really like the bowl as well. I think it just looks really nice in there. This makes such an easy and delicious side to bring along or serve for whatever meal you're having. Let's pop on the lid and put it in the fridge. Next up, let's make a peanut butter pie. We're taking it over to a friend's house along with the black bean and corn salsa that we just put together. This is such an easy dessert. Making it again ahead of time. It needs a little bit of time to chill in the fridge. You can also pop it in the freezer and it'll keep for quite a while. But this is one of our favorite desserts and I haven't made it in a while. It's so easy. Let me show you how to do it. I've actually shown this on the channel already, but it's time for a refresh. I always use a prepared pie crust. Today I bought the 10-inch graham cracker crust. It doesn't have to be the name brand. You can totally buy store brand, which is what I normally do. And usually I buy the 9-inch, but we're serving a few more people today than normal. So I just got the larger crust, but I'm still gonna keep the filling the same. It's gonna be perfect. We need 1 softened cream cheese block, a cup of peanut butter. I always use crunchy in this recipe because I feel like that little texture of the crunch, it's just magical. And I don't even like crunchy peanut butter, but in this recipe I do. We also need some powdered sugar, and I'm gonna do a little bit of chocolate chips on top. Normally I would put like 1 Reese peanut butter cup chopped up on top, but I don't have any right now, so we're just gonna improvise and use chocolate chips. We also need 1 Cool Whip original. I always use the 8-ounce. I think the recipe actually calls for double this size. I just use this size. It always turns out perfect. Also helping us in the kitchen is my newest assistant in the kitchen, my brand new KitchenAid mixer. She's a beauty and I love her and she's awesome. To begin with, we're gonna open the crust. You just fold up the edges like so. Then you're gonna pop out the plastic liner. Don't discard this, keep it, because this will serve as your lid at the end. Okay, first time I ever made a pie, I did throw away the liner or the top, and I was regretting it later. All right, then we're gonna set this aside. So I guess we don't have to start off with this, but I did. To start, we're gonna put 1 cup of peanut butter into your bowl. All right, so that looks like it's a little bit more than a cup. I think it's gonna be just right. And I can't decide if I wanna use the whisk or the paddle. I also really like this idea too. It's got the scraper on the side. I think we're gonna go with the whisk attachment today. Next in goes the softened, and this isn't, I didn't microwave it or anything. I just simply let it sit out on the counter for a couple of hours. It is nice and soft, room temperature. I'm gonna add that right in. I am gonna measure out 1 cup of powdered sugar. Let's lift her up and turn it on. This might fluff up a little bit with that powdered sugar, but it'll be okay. Oh, guys, you must plug in your mixer before she'll turn on. There we go. All right, turning it on. I'm gonna turn on to just very low. Let's add the Cool Whip. Look, no one ever said this recipe was healthy. You know, everything in moderation, right? I just kind of slice it like this, a little bit more than half, and I take the majority side, plop it into the bowl. This much we're gonna set aside to use it as a topping. All right, I took off the whisk attachment because I was noticing that the sides weren't getting scraped. So while it is getting blended nicely, I think I'm going to, maybe I'll use the scraper and just see what happens. So what I did was I scraped down the sides, and I'm just gonna see what this paddle with this scraper will do. I've never had this before. So I'm just gonna kind of see how it mixes, and hopefully it'll just do what I want it to do. We're gonna watch this together for the first time. This like I said, I've never had this before, so. All right, we're still plugged in. I mean, that looks nice. That looks really nice, actually. I'm very happy with how that works. Look at how creamy dreamy that is. All right, so I've got all the filling looking good. I'm gonna put it into the pie crust. Brandon went in search of a peanut butter cup, thinking maybe I overlooked him, but I don't think we have one. He's looking a little in more detail.
We got Snickers.
Snickers would work. So on his search to find a Reese cup, Brandon found a Snicker egg instead. And you really just need one. And we're gonna give it a little rough chop. This is gonna be so good. And I wasn't thinking about a Snicker because I usually only put Reese peanut butter cup, but this is gonna be so good. All right, I did give my spatula a rinse. I'm going to take the rest of the whipped topping and plop it on top. And just spread it lightly over the whole top. It doesn't have to be beautiful, although it spreads nicely, so it always ends up looking nice. You could spread it all the way to the edges, or you could leave some peanut butter filling on the edge. It's fine too, however you want to do it. You could also leave this all the way off. You could also mix this all the way in. It's really whatever you want. Make it your own. I just like to do it like this. I think it looks nice. All right, so there we go. Just got a butter knife. We're just gonna give this a rough chop. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. So I just like to break it up a little bit. Oh yeah, Snickers or Reese's, this is gonna be on time, either way. Something else that I like to do if I have it, or if I don't have the candy topping, I like to add a drizzle of like a nice dark chocolate syrup. Oh, that's so good and always really, really tasty too. And there we have it, the finished product. Easy peasy and always a crowd pleaser. This recipe is so simple and delicious. So I hope you'll make it. And of course, with that plastic liner top that you kept, place it on top and then go around the edges, clamp it shut. Pop this into the fridge for a couple of hours, or even in the freezer for several days. That's it, it's that simple. Next, we are all out of the blend, which is Kinder's. It is salt, pepper, and garlic. I had Brandon hold onto the container and not throw it away because I want to make my own, and there is a recipe in the Paula Deen cookbook, so I'm gonna do that right now. Put the salt shaker emoji in the comments if you watched to the end. I'm just gonna write homemade, H. Homemade. So this is the cookbook that has, she calls it her house blend recipe, and it's been a long time. I have made it before, but it's been a long time. But kind of in the spirit of making things at home and saving money using what we have here at the house, I want to go ahead and just try to make it again, see if it's good. House seasoning, 160. Who else has this cookbook? I feel like this is how I learned how to cook. All right, page 160. The house seasoning is a cup of, I will link the recipe down below if I can find it online. If not, and you're curious, you can find it in this cookbook. I typically don't like to share information that isn't already posted out on the internet unless it's my information from my own self, but I did not make this recipe, so that's why, you know, I'm not just gonna post it if I can't find it online already. All right, let's go. So we're going to need salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. I'm gonna use a funnel. All right, well, it's good to know that one round of the recipe fits in here almost perfectly. So I won't double it next time. I'll just simply single it. But Here we have it. Salt, pepper, garlic. Hopefully it'll blend up nicely. I mean, I feel like that kind of blended nicely in there. You can see it mixed pretty well. I mean, it looks different because I use the pink salt, but I mean, this might be awesome. Friends, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you got some inspiration and, you know, some ideas that you can bring into your own kitchen for your friends and family. Thank you for adding a dash of gratitude to your day. I do hope to see you next time. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. It's a winner chicken dinner.